I'll admit it up front, I'm not close with my family. I moved across the country 5 years ago to Colorado, while they all stayed clustered in our small New England hometown. At first, I called weekly, visited on holidays, and made an effort. But over time, the invitations to family gatherings became less frequent, my calls went unreturned, and I slowly felt myself being edited out of the family narrative. My brother Jake has always been the golden child. Star quarterback in high school, successful investment banker now, and recently engaged to Melissa, the daughter of my father's business partner. Their relationship is my parents' dream come true, the perfect merger of family and financial interests. I'm genuinely happy for them, even if Jake and I haven't had a real conversation in years. Last Tuesday, I was scrolling through Instagram when I saw my cousin Tara's post. Can't wait for the big engagement bash this weekend. Hashtag Jake and Melissa, hashtag family reunion. My stomach dropped. No one had mentioned a party to me, let alone invited me. I called my dad immediately. He picked up on the fourth ring, sounding distracted. Oh, hey, Emma. What's up? Dad, is there an engagement party for Jake this weekend? A pause. Oh, that. Yeah, just a small reunion. Nothing formal. Why wasn't I invited? I tried to keep my voice steady. Well, you're so far away. It didn't seem worth bothering you for something so casual. Just immediate family and close friends. I glanced at Tara's post again. She had tagged at least 30 people in the comments. People from high school I barely remembered. Dad, I could have flown in. I would have liked to be there for Jake. He sighed. Emma, let's be honest. You haven't been involved in family matters for years. Jake didn't think you'd want to come, and we didn't want you to feel obligated. That stung. I see. Well, thanks for letting me know. Don't make this into something it's not, he warned. Focus on your little skiing job and your life out there. We're happy for you. My little skiing job was actually a position as the marketing director for one of Colorado's premier ski resorts, but my family had never bothered to understand what I actually did. To them, I was just their daughter who ran away to play in the snow. After hanging up, I sat numb on my couch, staring at the wall. 5 years of distance hadn't prepared me for how much this exclusion hurt, but I refused to let them see me upset. The next morning, I called my boss and arranged to take Friday off. Not to fly home for the party I wasn't invited to, but to do something just for me. I drove up to our resort's most exclusive peak, normally reserved for private tours and VIPs. As the head of marketing, I had access, and today I needed the solitude and perspective that only came from standing above the clouds. The conditions were perfect that Friday: blue skies, fresh powder from an overnight snowfall, and hardly anyone around. I carved through untouched snow, feeling the tension melt away with each turn. By noon, I'd reached my favorite spot, a secluded overlook with a panoramic view that stretched for miles. I pulled out my phone, caught my breath, and snapped a selfie. Behind me was nothing but pristine mountains, endless sky, and the kind of beauty my family had never bothered to visit. I looked happy in the photo, windblown hair, flushed cheeks, genuine smile. Without overthinking it, I posted it to Instagram with the caption, "Some reunions are just between me and the mountains." Petty? Perhaps. But after years of feeling like an afterthought, it felt good to show I was thriving without them. I put my phone on silent, tucked it away, and spent the rest of the afternoon making fresh tracks down the mountain. When I finally returned to the lodge at sunset, I was exhausted in the best possible way. I ordered a hot chocolate at the bar and finally checked my phone. What I saw made me nearly spill my drink. 27 missed calls, 43 text messages, and countless Instagram notifications. Most of the calls were from my parents and Jake. The texts ranged from concerned to furious. Mom, Emma, call us immediately. What are you doing? Jake, what the hell, Em? Are you trying to ruin my engagement party? Cousin Tara, OMG, everyone is freaking out here. Uncle John is livid. Melissa, Jake's fiancée, who had never texted me before, I don't know what game you're playing, but please stop. This is our special weekend. I scrolled through more messages, increasingly confused. What exactly had I done? Posted a skiing selfie instead of moping about not being invited to a party? How was that ruining anything? Then I saw what had happened. My innocent post had somehow gone viral within our extended family and hometown circle. People were sharing it, commenting with supportive messages like, "Their loss, and who needs family drama when you have mountains?" Someone had even tagged Jake and Melissa, writing, "Looks like Emma found a better party." The engagement party was now flooded with comments asking why I wasn't invited, with people taking sides. What I'd intended as a small act of self-care had exploded into a family crisis. I called my mother back first, bracing myself. "Emma Catherine Wilson," she hissed without even saying hello. "What do you think you're doing?" "Mom, I'm just skiing. What's the problem?" "Don't play innocent. Your post is all anyone is talking about at the party." Jake is devastated. Your father had to explain to everyone why you're not here. I felt a strange mix of satisfaction and guilt. And what did he say? He told them you couldn't make it because of work commitments. She lowered her voice. Now everyone thinks we lied about inviting you. But you did lie, I said quietly. You didn't invite me. It was Jake's decision, she snapped. He didn't want any distractions. Distractions? Is that what I am to this family now? The line went quiet for a moment. Emma, you chose to leave. You chose your mountains over us years ago. You can't expect everything to stay the same. Her words hit me like an avalanche. I had moved away, yes, but I'd never chosen mountains over family. They had systematically excluded me until there was nothing left for me to hold on to. That's not fair, Mom. I moved for a career opportunity, not to abandon anyone. I called. I visited. You all stopped responding. Well, your little stunt today has certainly gotten everyone's attention, she said bitterly. I hope you're happy. Before I could respond, I heard commotion in the background and then my brother's voice as he took the phone. Emma, Jake said, his voice tight. What the hell were you trying to prove? I wasn't trying to prove anything, I said. I went skiing because I was hurt about not being invited to your engagement party. That's it. You know how important this weekend is for me and Melissa. Our families are finally merging after years of business partnership. This is about more than just us. And there it was, the truth I'd suspected all along. This wasn't just an engagement celebration. It was a business merger celebration where a family black sheep like me didn't fit the narrative. Congratulations on your corporate takeover, Jake. I hope the merger yields favorable quarterly returns, I said sarcastically. See, this is exactly why you weren't invited. You always have to make everything about you and your issues with how we live our lives. I took a deep breath. Jake, I'm genuinely happy for you and Melissa. I would have loved to be there to celebrate with you. That's all. The line went quiet, and for a moment, I thought he might actually hear me. Look, he finally said, his voice softer. Maybe we should have handled this differently. But your post has created a scene that's taking attention away from Melissa, and that's not okay. I closed my eyes. I'll delete it if you want. It's too late for that. Half the town is already talking. Then, unexpectedly, I heard Melissa in the background asking for the phone. Emma? Hi, it's Melissa. We haven't really met properly. Her voice was surprisingly warm. This is all a bit messy, isn't it? I'm sorry if my post caused problems for you, I said, meaning it. Actually, she said, lowering her voice, I've been asking Jake why you weren't here. He kept giving vague answers. I had no idea you weren't invited. I didn't know what to say to that. Listen, she continued, we're having a smaller dinner tomorrow night, just family. Would you consider flying in? I'd really like to meet my future sister-in-law properly. The invitation caught me completely off guard. I don't know if that's a good idea. Please? I think it's important. And from the look of those mountains in your photo, you could probably use a break from all that perfect scenery, she said with a small laugh. After we hung up, I sat staring at my phone for a long time. Part of me wanted to book the next flight home and show up just to see the look on my father's face. Another part wanted to climb higher up the mountain and never come down. In the end, I booked the flight, not for my father or even for Jake, but for Melissa, who had reached out when no one else would, and maybe a little bit for myself too. Sometimes it takes a storm to clear the air. And sometimes, a simple ski selfie can trigger an avalanche that uncovers what's been buried for far too long. As I packed my bag that night, my phone pinged with a message from Melissa. Thanks for saying yes. And by the way, I think we should plan a family ski trip to your mountains next winter. I have a feeling your little skiing job comes with some pretty amazing perks. For the first time in years, I felt a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, there was a path back to being part of a family again, even if it wasn't the same path I'd left behind.